Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hi, my name is Hunter, and it's so nice to meet you. In today's video, I am doing something that I have been wanting to do for a couple of years now, but I'm just now getting around to doing, and that is finding out what I am made of. And when I say that, I mean finding out what my body consists of genetically. I found out some information about my family a couple of weeks ago, but I am gonna keep to myself for now. But I have shared with my friends how excited I am to do this now that I know this information about my family. So I have been I was gonna wait until my birthday, and then once I found this information out about my family, I decided that I was just gonna go ahead and do it now. So my mom gave me a kit and I registered it and I sent it off to 23&Me and I got my results back. And I will say that I was gonna wait to film this video, or I was gonna wait to look at the results until I could film this video, but I decided that I wanted my reaction to my genetic makeup to be my own, and I didn't want to share that with anybody that doesn't know me personally. So I received a notification that my results were in at like 11 o'clock one night. I was in bed with my husband and he was watching TV and I was just sitting here like looking at my phone, and then suddenly I get the notification that my results are here. And I decided I thought I was gonna wait and I really wanted to, and then he was like, Hunter, you're never gonna go to sleep now, so just look at them. Okay, so I opened my computer up and I got my results, and so now I am sharing them with you. So let's go ahead and get started. I would like to preface this before I show you what this looks like. I thought that I was German because my maiden name is Merck, and I thought that I was German because I have blue eyes and I'm very white. Shocking, I know. And my hair is not naturally blonde, but my hair does get really light in the sun. But my hair is naturally this brown color up here, so I just assumed that I was white, that I was European. So it's not a surprise to find out that I am 61% British and Irish, with ancestry from 64 different populations. So of course my battery's at 19%. That's lovely. Okay, so I put Hunter McKinley, which was my given middle name, because I didn't want my full name on here. So let's just scroll and see what we can find. So first, I am 98.5% European, and I am 95.5% Northwestern European. 61.4% of that is British and Irish, with the majority of it coming from Greater London, United Kingdom, which is funny because I'm obsessed with London, so love that. And then I am 15.7% French and German, but there is not like any breakdown as to what regions it's from. I'm also 4% Scandinavian, 0.2% Finnish, and 14.2% broad Northwestern European, which means it's not 100% like they don't know what it is, but it's primarily Northwestern European. And then I have 0.3% Ashkenazi Jewish, which is funny because I don't know where that comes from. And then I am 0.1% Southern European, which means like Southern European is like Greek and Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, all those things. And it's funny because my husband his last name is Portuguese. Well, my last name now is Portuguese. Freitas is very Portuguese. We went to Mexico and we said our last name and someone was like, oh, Portugal. And I was like, how did you know that? But somebody recognized our name as Portuguese. And so he also has really dark hair and he tans really, really easily. So that makes sense as to why. But I think it's funny because that means that our kids are gonna be very European, but both Northwestern and Southern European. And then broadly European, which means they don't know what it is 2.6%. And then I'm looking at here, and for sub-Saharan African, I do think it's interesting that 1% of my ancestry is 1% sub-Saharan African. I feel like everybody has a little bit of African in them because humanity stemmed from Africa. Like the Garden of Eden, there's not like a definitive place that biblical scholars have decided on where it's at, but it's largely decided among most scholars that it is the Middle Eastern / Egyptian, not Egyptian, although a lot of things happen in Egypt, but broadly it is decided that it is an African region / Middle Eastern, somewhere in that part of the world. So, but I was looking it up and it said West African, so it was Nigerian, is 0.9%. And this is gonna be so sad. It's so sad to think that this is a part of my ancestry, but It says that Nigeria's population is the largest in Africa and one of the most diverse, with over 250 ethnic groups. The country's arid north is home to people that I can't pronounce. And then there's other people. And then it said that as much as 2/3 of African American sub-Saharan DNA may trace back to Nigerian ancestors due to the disproportionate impact of the Atlantic slave trade on the people in the region. And I am from the South, so my prediction, I don't know this for sure, is that I have this almost 1% Nigerian in me because of the slave trade, and because I live in the South. Slave trading was a big thing in the South many years ago, and I don't agree with it 100% do not agree with slavery. So I'm just putting that out there, but I think that that's where that percentage comes from, is some sort of infidelity among a slave master and a possible slave, or just that kind of thing. So I think that may be where that stems from. It's really sad that that's where that came from, but that gives me some sort of idea as to what that is in me. And then it also shows an Ancestry Timeline, which I think is really interesting because it shows you how many generations back in your genetics are of this. So 1 to 3 generations back, which makes sense for British and Irish, 2 to 3 generations for German, and then if we scroll down some more, the Nigerian is 5 to 8 generations, which makes sense given a timeline of whatever. So like my great-grandmother was born in 1919. Hey Siri, when was slavery abolished?
Okay, I found this on the web for when was slavery abolished. Check it out.
Okay, so the 13th Amendment was ratified on December 6th, 1865. My great-grandmother was born in 1919. So I'm guessing that great-grandparents on other great-grandparents in my family were born similarly around that time frame, early 1900s to the whatever, that first 20 years in the 1900s. So I'm gonna assume that 5 to 8 generations back, I mean that's 3 generations, so 5 to 8, it makes sense with the timeline. I feel like I need to justify myself, but here we are. So then I don't have parental inheritance on here because my parents haven't done this. So then I can like view relatives and predicted family tree, Neanderthal history, my maternal haplogroup. I can't view a paternal haplogroup because I'm not a male. But then let's look at my health and traits, and some things about my traits that I thought I knew about myself. I thought I had an increased risk of diabetes type 2, and I thought I had an increased risk of heart disease. So those are things based on my family history that I know, and now we come back to this. So I have an increased risk of age-related macular degeneration, which I had no idea about. Basically it just means that you go blind. Let me read what it says, which makes sense because I wear contacts and my vision is getting worse by the year. But both variants that they test were detected in me. Age-related macular degeneration is the most common cause of irreversible vision loss among older adults. It results in damage to the central part of the retina, the macula, impairing vision needed for reading, driving, or even recognizing faces. This tests 2 common variants associated with increased risk of developing the condition. So, and then there's also hereditary hemochromatosis, which means that, I think that means I'm a carrier for it, but I'm not, I don't have it. I don't know what it means. Let me look at it really quickly. Because it said that nothing was detected, let's see, absorption of too much iron, which means it could lead to iron overload, which can cause damage to joints and certain organs. But I have 1 of the 2 genetic variants, but it also says that I am not likely at an increased risk. And then increased likelihood of type 2 diabetes, which is not a surprise to me at all. It runs on my mom's side of the family really heavily, so. They also look at other things, physical reports. Let's see how accurate this is. So it said that I have a 57% chance of not having any dimples, but I have one right here. My mom also has one, so they were wrong about that one. It says that I am 83% chance not to have a cleft chin, but I do. It's very slight. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's very slight. It's there. And then it says that I have a 73% chance that I have had dandruff. I don't think I've had dandruff, at least not bad enough to treat it. It says that I have a 63% chance that I have detached earlobes. I literally do not know how to tell. We're gonna skip over that one because it's kind of gross. It's about earwax. Eye color, it says that I have a 52% chance of having blue eyes, 21% chance of having greenish blue, and 17% of having green eyes. My mom has green eyes, so yeah, I have blue eyes. They're like a bluish green though, so I would say like in certain lighting they look super blue, in certain lighting they look greenish blue, but they never look green or any of the other colors. It also says that I have 56% chance that my ring finger is longer than my index finger, and I don't know if you can tell, but it is by like a lot. Actually, they're like the same on this hand. What is it on this hand? It's a lot longer on this hand. Holy crap. Okay. Next, it says that I have 68% chance that I have very few, if any, freckles. I don't have freckles. Hair photo bleaching. This one is super accurate. I'd said this before at the beginning that my hair gets really light in the sun. It says that there's 85% chance that I experience hair photo bleaching, which means it gets lighter in the sun. And it also says that I have a 42% chance of slightly wavy hair. I feel like this is not a good way for you to look at my hair because I've done my hair today, so that's not right. But it says that I have a 42% chance of slightly wavy hair, but I will just post some pictures of myself as a child here so you guys can see what my hair is texture wise, and then also as an adult my hair is actually pretty curly, but it's not like, it's like big curls. I have big curls, not like super tight curls or anything like that. And then it also says that I have a 45% chance of dark blonde hair or a 25% chance of light brown hair, and I would say throughout my lifetime I definitely have had light brown / dark blonde hair. So there's that. And then it says that I had a 70% chance of having little or no hair at birth. And I don't think I had a lot of hair at birth based on baby pictures. It says that I have a 99% chance of not having red hair. So that's spot on. And then it says that I have very little likelihood of having dark skin. And then it says that I have a 32% chance of moderately fair skin, 39% of very fair skin. I'd say my skin is more moderately fair. Yeah. It says I have an 81% chance of having stretch marks. I have a ridiculous amount of stretch marks on my hips and my thighs. So 100% have stretch marks. Toe ratio, 67% chance that I have a longer big toe. I'm trying to look right now. I'd say they're about the same length. 71% chance that I do not have a unibrow. I do not have a widow's peak. That's all the physical features. So now let me look at, as far as health predispositions go, I don't have a BRCA gene. I don't have anything with Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or any of the, or celiac disease, which is so good because I love bread. I don't know what the rest of them are. And then wellness, I am unlikely to turn red if I have alcohol. I'm likely to consume less caffeine. I'm less likely to be a deep sleeper, which I guess you could say is true. Lights wake me up, so there's that. I am predisposed to weigh about average, which is nice because that means I'm not super skinny, but also I'm not predisposed to be like overweight. Although right now I am, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm working on it. It says I'm likely tolerant of lactose, which is fantastic because I love milk. And then I have the muscle composition that is common in elite power athletes, which I thought was really funny when I looked at it at first, but then when I looked at it it was basically just talking about I need to pull it up so that I can see what it says. Basically just means that I have slow twitch fibers, so I am more likely to have more endurance instead of being able to be a good sprinter, which makes sense because I was a very good runner in high school. Not anymore, but I was a great runner in high school. And then we come to, oh, I already did this one. Oh, other traits that are not physical. So my ability to match pitch. I can't sing, but I don't know if that means I can match pitch or not, so there's that. It said that I can likely taste bitter tastes. That is true. It says that I can likely detect odor detection with asparagus. I don't know what that means. It says that I am less likely than average to have a bunion. I do not. Great, wonderful. And then it also says that I'm less likely than average to be afraid of heights, which is awesome because I freaking love planes. I could stare out a plane window all day long. I'll go up on a tall building. I'm all here for it. I have odds of disliking cilantro, but I love cilantro, so that's not quite right. I do have a little bit of a fear of public speaking. Flat feet. It says I'm less likely to have thick hair, but your girl's got a lot of hair, so that's not right. It says I'm more likely to prefer vanilla over chocolate, which is not true. I hate chewing sounds, that's true. I do not get bitten. I do have motion sickness, and I prefer salty over sweet, which is true, and it says I'm likely to wake up around 8:34 a.m. So I think that's pretty accurate too, because I woke up around 8:30 today. So, with that being said, those are all the things that I made of. Some of my predictions were true, some of them were very false, some of them were pretty average to what I was expecting about myself. So that is all I have for today's video. If you guys have done this and you haven't shared your results in a video, you should, because I think they're really interesting to watch. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my channel down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.